It's bitterly cold. There's rain coming. We've had a problem with joint ill. These pet lambs are a nightmare. Pull away. Just feeding the sheep here. Pet lamb, pet's corner, feeder on the go. Pet lamb reaching in here to suck a yo, and he actually is sucking her in here. Total recipe, yeah, he's been sucking that teeth there. Just in an ideal location. It's a real recipe for mastitis because you'll see here, see what's going on. They pop the seal on the sheep's teeth. They have a waxy seal that stops the bugs getting in. And when the lambs pop that seal and the sheep hasn't lambed yet, it's a disaster. So that's the joys of pet lambs. They're cheeky little boys. Look at this. Just going to stick a sheet of mesh there for when the sheep are eating here at the trough. Might stick it on the inside here, and that'll stop them. That's just the danger zone there. Have to get a few cable ties. Get that done next. So another little lad at it here, sucking a teeth. The mesh gate here. Gonna have to put another one there. These pet lambs are a nightmare, but what do you do with them? Done deal. We'll see. So this is a look at one of the more frustrating parts of lambing. I went in last night, about 10:30, I got finished up into the house, had to go for a shower before hitting the bed, and when there was a sheep lambing, she hadn't dropped her second lamb. I said I'd leave her at it, as I normally would. Had me shower, hopped into bed, had a quick look on the camera, dead lamb. Bag over his head. This lamb unfortunately suffocated. It is one of those things that's very hard to avoid. You'll always have a few, but it's pity because he's a nice big lamb that was perfectly viable, but that bag over the head is a killer, literally a killer. But what do? You can't save them all, and you will have a certain amount of mortality, but it is a little bit frustrating. But move on, keep going. Now, so you'll see the aunties, as I call them, putting the lambs through a spin cycle. So they're all fighting over this one lamb. Now this is the one that is lambed here. So we'll just pull the lamb out, get her into a pen. The other ones will settle and lamb down. But this is the biggest problem I face indoor lambing, is sheep, or aunties as I call them, stealing lambs. When they are very close to lambing and they see a wet lamb, all they want to do is mother up to it, and it can get very confusing. And if you have a sleepy night and your alarm doesn't wake you, you can wake up to a mess. Now thankfully that hasn't happened yet. It just has to happen once, maybe during the lambing season, and you end up with a sheep with maybe 4 lambs, and the one that should have 2 lambs has no lambs, and it foster and create, and it gets into a mess. So that lamb, I've never seen a lamb get cleaned off as quick. Got 3 mammies licking it clean. We'll get them moved out now. Now, so we've got mammy out, proper mammy out. She's the one that has already lambed. You see the other lamb just coming here, ready to drop out. Can be a bit of a, what's the word? It can be a bit of a challenge to figure out which one is actually lamb, but I'm pretty sure it's her because she's bloody on the back end. That usually comes with the first lamb. But you'll see there's another lamb coming here, and this one is very close as well. She hasn't actually dropped the water bag yet, but it's coming. But you can see the mad looking for lambs here, so it's a good indicator to know how many are close to lambing when they're at this behaviour here. But we're definitely up and running now, and plenty of them going to lamb. I have a feeling it's going to be a busy weekend. Really need to get a lot of tagging done and numbering and recording and out to the field. Lambing pens are getting full. Gonna need a bit of space. That is this one out with a single here. This single landed in the night. Nice, a very nice big lamb. Very nice. Bit of a, not saying an issue, but the singles are definitely big. I wouldn't like to be feeding much meal. Started giving them a small bit, a very small bit, about half a pound or 200 grams per head per day, for not an obvious reason, but I think it might solve a problem next year. those hoggets that came into the shed and weren't used to meal, if there's quite a few hoggets in the single younger sheep, so if they didn't get used to meal now, they'll come into the shed as 3-year-old sheep not used to meal. So it's doing a little bit of a job, it's getting them used to meal. But here is that the sheep that lost the lamb last night when I was in the shower. One good lamb, at least there is one viable lamb in it. But definitely I am seeing a difference. You'll see her mark in her shoulders. You'll see the mark on her shoulders is green. That is a particular ram, and I know for a fact my mortality with that particular ram is higher than any of the rest of the 6 stock rams I have. So there's more of a chance of this happening here. Unfortunately, the lamb born dead or born with the bag over his head, I'm not fully sure, because by the time I got out of the shower and looked on the camera, the lamb was dead. So it just goes to show though, particular rams definitely have higher mortality rates. I have one particular ram, he's purple colour, and I am extremely confident when he's lambing, when his lambs have been born. Mortality is the lowest mortality I have out of all the lambs. There we go. Lamb just fell out of this sheep. In the time I was talking there, literally a minute, and the lamb has just fell out of this sheep. Purple again. You see the purple mark on her shoulders. It's quite hard to see it now. You can see the purple line. That's a visual mark I use to determine which ram they're from. But I'm going to get this sheep and lambs down to the pen. Really like those lambs as well. You see they're quite hairy and fluffy. They've quite a bit of covering as well, and a nice hairy belly as well. We'll get them done with iodine now. But very good, hardy little lambs. They have a nice cover, not too bare. Bare lambs are a disaster for getting them out in cold, wet, rough weather. But you're pretty confident with these lambs, they've plenty of cover in them. So your breeding ram has a big bearing on how successful the lambing goes, in my opinion. Consecutive recording, I can see a definite difference in the number of lambs that are dead or born dead or losses to a certain ram. Interesting one. Meh, 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 meh. Oh, yeah, don't go in there. Meh. Happy days. So I'm just doing a little job here. I actually blow in a heap of bedding for the lambing pens that are just out here. So when the students come, they bed the pens for me in the mornings. I'll just bring down this other lamb. This little sheep is actually a hogget. She's a good mum for a hogget. She's doing really well. She's a first timer. Come on, she's a little bit nervous at following me, but she's doing well. 2 lovely lambs. Meh, meh. Happy days. Right, I'm just going to leave them lambs there. If I can slip out past her here. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. Yeah, here we go. Lovely. There we go. Lovely bag of milk as well. So we'll just leave her there with her 2 lambs. That is the pressure off for now. Just going to leave her there. The students will be here in about half an hour. Cian and Peter will be here in a half an hour. These 2 will definitely do something soon. You'll see the ones that were trying to steal the lambs, well bagged up. She's about to lamb. Plug is gone. This one here has showing the signs of a start. So all quiet. Just going to go in and get the breakfast here, and then a school run to do. The lads know what to do. We'll leave them at it, and we'll catch up with you in a bit. Pets corner is going well here. These little lambs are actually flying. With 5 pets here, 2 off that Mustang sheep, couple that got mismothered around the time of my late uncle's funeral. Things just got a bit confusing. We'd say I wasn't here I was away for a couple of days on that job, and things got a bit confusing in the pens. It was over the weekend and I had no help. and I had a little bit of mismothering, so this one with the blue dot got lost from his mammy, and actually so did this one. So 2 mismotherings, sheep that should have been going out with twins are only going out with a single, and it's left me with 2 lambs on the feeder. But these lambs are actually flying on the feeder now, going very well. So what I've actually done is I've fitted the 2 teats, and I fitted the soft brown one. You'll find that one on the shop. It's the first time I've ever used it, but it's a really soft rubber, and I think the lambing students about twice, maybe 3 times, they showed the lambs up to the teat, got them going, and they figured it out for themselves. It's the easiest bit of fostering, is that what you'd call it? Fostering onto the feeder? I'm not sure, but very, very simple stuff. Actually worked out very well. I might just get that teat going. That's the next teat up, the medium. We might get that one going, and that will... Oh, better close that. That would get messy. So I might just get the pink one going. Very simple to do that. Just take out the hose here. I am sorry. The sheep can be a bit noisy here. I was just filling the bucket with milk replacement. As soon as the sheep see a bucket, it gets very noisy. But anyway, so I'm just going to get this other teat resurrected here. So for insulation, I've just actually put in some clothes to try and maintain some of the heat here. So this other pipe is the one for the pink feeder. So we'll just take this one out here and drop it into the bucket here as well. So there is room for improvement on this feeder, and I will improve it maybe at some stage, but it is, like a lot of things around here, working for now. It's a little bit like the straw chopper. It's not the fanciest bit of equipment, but it is definitely doing a job, and so is this feeder. So not sure what to do with these pet lambs. Would you sell them? I don't know, there's not much profit in it, but then if we're going to get 200 quid for lambs, it's good money. So this is my bucket of milk. Room for improvement here also. So just drop the pipe again, just drop the pipe in here. So again, the pipe with the little gauze on it, I just put a 12mm nut onto the pipe, and that acts as a weight and keeps it down to the bottom of the bucket. Just working well. So this is my cover here to keep the dust out. It's not ideal. I have some of the old lick buckets, but of course the lids all get used as frisbees by the kids and they all seem to disappear. But I will get a bucket with a lid for that eventually. So we might just prime this for the lambs. So you'll see if I squeeze the teat here, so you see the milk coming up there in the pipe. It might be easier, I'll just head inside to do that. But I'm sure if I left it long enough, the lambs will prime it themselves. But one teat will feed about 12, maybe 15 lambs. But this will work to train these stronger lambs onto the medium teat, because it is quite a good bit harder. That's a lovely soft teat. I think that's why it's so much easier to get them trained onto it. So prime this has to suck the milk through the coil inside in the hot water. Just takes a minute. There we go, there's the milk. It's actually warm already. Lovely job. Now, good little lambs. So this is the lad that's knuckled over. He's not exactly improving. We might look at putting the splints in him. He's particularly bad on that fetlock there. He's not straightening up that well, so we might put the splints on him later. We'll give you a look at that later on. Have to go and get the breakfast, get these children fed, and head for a school run. So just before I head in, this is one of the sheep that was trying to steal a lamb. Here we go. She's making nice and steady progress. She's just having contractions there, pushing the lamb out. But I will keep an eye on this sheep now. The camera is directly above us there. I'm not sure if you can see that on the roof. So I can point that down now and keep an eye on the sheep. It'll actually be easy to keep an eye on her because she's facing the right direction. So as we're eating breakfast, I can watch the sheep lambing. Happy days. We're kicking off here. Now, we have a triplet landed here. Not a bad looking triplet, just on the ground. and unfortunately no singles, no obvious singles yet anyway. But in the time that her third lamb comes, we might have a water bag out here in the singles pen. If we do, we'll definitely do a bit of wet fostering. That's the third triplet to land now. We haven't timed it right to get a wet fostering done. We have another sheep here just, where is she? Yeah, she's just starting. Another one definitely showing signs of it here. Oddly enough, this pen here in particular, 5 sheep lambing and none in any of the rest of the pens except the triplets pen. But we're tight for space. Could do with more lambing pens, usual story. But this set of doubles is after landing. 2 nice lambs. A good mom, good mammy. A 3-year-old sheep. Anyway, we'll get a bit of tagging done. We'll give you a look at that. Now, thankfully, Granny Lila, or my mother, is a hoarder and she collects stuff. Bit of a hoarder myself, self-confessed. Drives my wife Orla nuts, who is not a hoarder. But anyway, got an empty spray bottle off mother because I'm going to do the ears. We'll show you in a minute what we're going to do with this. A little bit of iodine in it. Hopefully don't make too much of a mess here. So strong iodine solution, 10% is the iodine required for navels. We're doing a slightly different job with this today. I'll give you a look. The lambing pens are filling up and filling up fast. It's time to get these out. We have a set of triplets here, 3 nice lambs. They've been on mammy. Generally leave the triplets on with mammy for a day. Good bag of milk, they're getting plenty of colostrum. Pull one off onto the feeder, probably be the next job. We have one that lambed, that's the one that lambed earlier before I done the school run. We have a hard lammer here. She lost the lamb. It was a difficult lambing, but she's okay. She's okay. So pretty much all of these we tag all these up and they are going out today. What have we in here? We have a single here. Right. We've another triplet in there. Didn't get a home for one of them. But again, we'll pull one off and onto the feeder. So we're just getting ready here. We have Cian and Peter are my 2 students at the minute. Some of the other ones will be here later on. We're going to do a bit of tagging here and tails and numbering up and recording. But we're doing the tagging a little bit differently here. You will see we've had a problem with giant tail. These ones marked with red. You see they're a little bit stiff. There's another one there. Convinced myself the tags look a bit nasty and infected. Probably cut it a bit fine. They weren't fully dried off when we tagged these, so we're going to apply a bit of iodine on the ear first. We'll give you a look at that. At least there'll be some hope of it killing the bugs first. You have a ram lamb there? Yep. Okay. So I was just chatting to another farmer and he said put a bit of iodine on the ears first. So I know it's going to sting, but giant tail is pretty nasty, so just going to tag through the iodine here and at least there'll be some hope for killing the bugs. So I know it's a bit slower, but there's some time wasted going out to the field to bring in lambs with giant tail, keep them in for 5 days to inject them. So we're going to try this and see if it improves things. Every year brings its own set of problems. Last year we had a bit of salmonella. The year before we had a bit of prolapse problems. So the last thing I want is giant tail problems. I was talking to a farmer who is at a similar operation as myself, tagging at birth like this, and he was using blue spray. And I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of routine antibiotic use because of resistance, so I'm going to try iodine here. Let me know if you're tagging early on yourself, how you get around this. Do you use blue spray or iodine, or is there something better? Let me know, it'd be great to hear from you. Now Cian's just numbering up this one's lambs here. So she's number 38, so we are rattling through them The way, this is a foster lamb, so the way I kind of mark the foster is put an F, so it's 38 with an F, and then I know it's a foster lamb, because sometimes I see in the field after a week or maybe 10 days the sheep falls out of love with a lamb, and it's a strange kind of one where the lamb goes in for a suck and she'll take a step forward and won't let the lamb suck, and then you wonder why the lamb has got very thin or dead or whatever. So it's a good way of keeping an eye on them when you check them in the field. You see that F, just make sure that Mammy still loves them. So she stays there to you. Are you numbering them at home?
Yeah.
Good man. Yeah. Not bad. I think the secret to this job is when you're numbering them, keep the can as close as you can to the sheep, but it kind of jets the spray in onto the skin. If you keep it far apart, just sits on the surface, and it's a big smudgy kind of a number. So now, so we're just tagging away. Messy work, as you can see, iodine everywhere, but we're trying to do a bit of preventative work. You'll see these lambs are tagged here. We've iodine on the ears where we're just tagging them. I think it will definitely not do any harm. Kill them bugs that's in the ears. There's a nice set of triplets there, all covered in iodine, ringed up and ready to go. So something I want to show you inside here. We'll just head in here. We're going to have to clear out a few, because here's the sheep ready for a pen. Two lovely lambs, but no pen spare. So with that tagging done, we're going to clear out a few. The day is good. It's a nice bright day. It's cold and windy, but at least it's not raining, so we get them out. They're about 24 hours old. We get them outside. But there's a triplet lambing up here. For anyone that's new to the job, something I just want to show you here. It's a backwards lamb coming. It's a telltale sign of why it's backwards. I'll just give you a look here. You'll see the feet are upside down. So the way to tell, or the way I tell if it's coming backwards, is when you see the feet, the pointy part is on the bottom and the foot bends up that way. If the lamb was coming the right way, the foot bends down and the pointy part is up the top. So they're actually nice triplets, they're a good size. What we'll do maybe is take this backwards lamb and we'll get her into the pen. We've plenty of help around today. I have Cian is going to be here for another while. Peter is here for another couple of weeks. And I have Anna is a veterinary student, and Emily as well. Is our wife from the sheep school. Emily's just going to take this lamb here. It's a bit of experience. It's been quiet enough for you, but you are getting a bit of experience. Yeah. Can you feel hocks, Emily? These bits here, yeah? You can feel hocks.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, you can pull away. The backwards lambing, you have to of course take them a little bit quicker than the front lambing. That's it. Yeah, he's okay. He's taking his first breath, so he's okay. So happy days, 3 lambs and no singles to try and get one fostered onto, but we'll get them into a pen and we'll figure out what we're going to do. I am surrounded by help here at the minute. My little girl Enya, she was off school today. She's a little bit sick. 3 students, it's their last day, but I will continue to have 2 students for when the crack really starts. But we're just having a clear out. Sheep and lambs going out to the field. It's a short walk down the lane here with them. So I'm just recording them here. We have them all tagged up and numbered up. So we're just getting them out to the field here. Enya's giving me a hand here. You're a very good girl, Enya. You saying, welcome to sheep's girl. You're too shy. Oh, she's too shy. She's a good girl, aren't you? Yeah. So I have a pen here with the 3 lambs. It was triplets. I didn't get one fostered on. Just not enough singles lambing, and the timing isn't working out. So the only option is going to put 1 lamb on the feeder here, and she can go out with her 2 lambs. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. Maybe sell them. I'm not too sure yet, but we'll figure that out. Go and see. Go and see if you can move, Pat. See if you can catch him. Go and catch him. Now another set of triplets here. 3 lovely lambs. They've been on here for about 3 days. I need the pen space for the weekend. It's getting really busy. We're going to do the same again. Pull off one of the triplets onto the feeder and she can go out with 2 lambs. Generally pull off the weakest lamb. Some people work it differently, I'm not sure. I always pull off the weaker, smallest lamb. Or if it happened to be 2 ewe lambs and a ram lamb, I leave the 2 ewe lambs on the sheep and take off the ram lamb. The ram lamb is of less value, I would say, than the females in a maternal breed like this. So this one here is that's actually a nice little lamb. Very nice little lamb. But that's probably the one to pull off. That's a good big strong ram lamb. Ewe lamb. We'll take off this one and onto the feeder. Now, so these are the sheep and lambs that we let out earlier. Some of them here. Handy little pair of doubles there. More twins. More twins. More twins. Single up here and a single here. Reasonably good grass. It should be okay. It's bitterly cold. There's rain coming. But what do? I haven't got the space to keep them in. It should be hardy enough to stand up to it. We hope for the best. So my little girl Enya has been out helping me. It's great to have you out. You're such a good girl. Thank you for your help. You're a good girl. You go for a wee sleep now. Say bye.